Today's meditation invites you to walk in the light of courage, truth, and divine purpose. We'll explore how to respond to criticism with Christ-like calm, how church leaders bless our lives, and how we can labor with love to share the gospel in our everyday moments. Drawing on Doctrine and Covenants 71 to 75 and the life of the prophet Joseph Smith, we will find strength in the Lord's promise that no weapon formed against his work or his faithful disciples shall prosper. Let this meditation open your heart to heavenly peace, focused effort, and quiet assurance in your divine mission. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment. Now gently release it. Let your mind become still. Let your heart rest in a quiet place of peace and trust. The sun rises on a new day, and with it comes new purpose, new strength, new light. Today, you are invited to live as a disciple of Jesus Christ, to speak truth, to walk humbly, to serve diligently, to trust that even in the face of opposition you are not alone. The Lord Himself walks with you, and He has declared, "No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper." Let that promise settle into your soul. No weapon, no rumor, no rejection, no failure, no fear. If you are on the Lord's errand, if your heart is open, if your voice is lifted in testimony, then you are protected by His divine purpose. In 1831, Joseph Smith found himself at the center of harsh criticism, but this time it came from someone who had once believed. Ezra Booth had walked with Joseph. He had seen miracles. He had witnessed God's power. But when difficulties arose, when expectations weren't met, he fell away, and with a bitter pen, he tried to tear down the very truth he once embraced. Have you ever been hurt by someone who once walked beside you in faith? Have you ever felt discouraged when others question or criticize what you hold sacred? You are not alone. Even the prophet Joseph experienced it. In Doctrine and Covenants 71, the Lord tells Joseph and Sidney Rigdon to stop what they were doing, to put their translation work on hold, and to go out boldly, proclaiming the gospel. He didn't tell them to fight fire with fire. He didn't tell them to defend themselves with bitterness or debate. He simply said, "Proclaim the gospel. Testify of truth. Bear witness of Christ. Truth doesn't need to shout. It only needs to shine." Pause now and think of a time when your faith was misunderstood, a time when someone questioned your beliefs. Maybe they mocked, maybe they scoffed, maybe they simply didn't understand. What did you do? What would you do now, knowing the Lord's counsel? The Saviour himself was no stranger to critics. He stood silent before his accusers. He answered with wisdom when questioned in the temple. He forgave from the cross. He responded not with argument, but with clarity, confidence, and compassion. And he teaches us to do the same. Ephesians 4:32 gently whispers, "Be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another." Can you feel that invitation today to meet opposition, not with anger, but with understanding, to correct falsehoods, not with pride, but with peaceful testimony? You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to share the truth you know, with humility, with courage, with love. The Lord gave Joseph and Sydney this instruction: "Open your mouths and spare not, for lo, I am with you." Let that truth wash over you now. You are not alone in sharing the gospel. The Spirit will guide your words. The Lord will prepare hearts. He only asks you to be willing. Open your mouth. That is all. You may not feel eloquent. You may not feel prepared. But when you speak by the Spirit, you speak with power. Doctrine and Covenants 73 reminds us that we are not just teachers in designated moments. We are disciples always. There is time for your work. There is time for your family. And yes, there is time to share the gospel. It does not require a stage. It does not require a badge. Only a heart that sees and a voice that speaks. In Doctrine and Covenants 72, we learn about Newell K. Whitney. Called to serve as bishop, he was asked to give much: his time, his resources, his stewardship. Though the role of bishop today looks different, the heart of it remains the same. He was a shepherd, a steward, a servant. Take a moment now to reflect on the bishops in your life. Think of the quiet service, the unseen hours, the heartfelt prayers. How have you been blessed by their ministry? And now ask yourself, how can I render an account to the Lord for my own stewardship? You may not hold a calling like a bishop, but you are entrusted with gifts. Time, talents, resources, a voice, a heart. You too are a steward. And you too can be an extension of the Lord's storehouse. What can you consecrate today? A moment of kindness, a conversation of truth, a prayer offered in someone else's name. Doctrine and Covenants 75 gives us a powerful phrase: labor with your might. What does that look like for you? What does it mean to labor spiritually, not just physically? It means to stay engaged, to avoid spiritual idleness, to seek the Lord's will and then act on it with faith. It means not waiting for the perfect moment to share the gospel, but creating moments of light even in the ordinary. In verse 3, the Lord warns against tarrying and being idle. What holds you back from acting? Fear, fatigue, feelings of inadequacy? Lay them down, let them go. He does not expect perfection. He only asks for a willing heart, a consecrated effort. You don't have to cross the sea to share the gospel. You don't need a pulpit or a name tag. You just need to notice, to speak when prompted, to testify when the moment calls. You might be the first voice someone hears that mentions the Saviour's name in kindness. You might be the only light they see today. The Lord promises blessings to those who go forth. He promises rest. He promises that His angels will go before your face, that His Spirit will be in your heart. That promise includes you. You are never alone in your efforts to live and share the gospel. He walks with you. He defends you. He delights in your devotion. Let us return to the beginning. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That does not mean there won't be weapons. There will be critics. There will be trials. There will be misunderstandings. But none of them, none can undo what God is doing through you. So stand anchored, not in your own strength, but in His. And when the storms rise, when the world scoffs, when you feel weary from the work, remember the promise. He will strengthen you. He will use your voice. He will protect His truth. And one day, all things will be made right. Breathe in deeply once more. Let the Spirit settle into your soul. Let your heart be lifted. Today, you are a witness, a laborer, a disciple. You have been called to open your mouth, to declare truth, to love others, to share Christ's light, even in small ways. even in quiet corners of your day. So, what will you do with this day? What conversation will you lean into? What light will you shine? What falsehood will you gently correct with truth? Let this be the day you proclaim the gospel with kindness and courage. Let this be the day you consecrate your efforts with love. Let this be the day you move forward boldly, knowing the Lord is with you, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Verily, thus saith the Lord unto you, there is no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your peace. Let that be your purpose today and always.